Would you like to start sleeping better tonight? Well, in this video, I'm going to be talking about whether this is actually possible, even if you've had insomnia forever. I'll also be talking about some tips that I have for you to help you start sleeping better tonight. And they aren't the typical traditional tips like sleep in a cool room, meditate before bed, stay off the electronics, because if they worked, you wouldn't be here. Now, a lot of these tips are great, the sleep hygiene tips, but they aren't enough to help you overcome insomnia. So I have 3 unconventional tips that you have probably not tried before that can really make a big difference in getting more sleep when you have insomnia. Now, there is a reason why none of these have worked for you in the past, and we are going to be getting into that, why they don't work, and what you need to be doing instead. There is a big reason why they don't work. They aren't going after the root cause, and we're going to talk about that. It's really interesting. By the way, my name is Caitlin, and I had insomnia for 30 years. Yep, you heard that right. It took me 30 years to finally figure out how to overcome insomnia, and I am here to help you overcome insomnia faster so that you don't have to struggle for 30 years like I did. So let's go ahead and get started on this video. So, do you wish you could feel more relaxed at bedtime? Maybe when you're wide awake, you can't sleep, you're getting frustrated, you wish you could relax yourself. You wish you could just meditate or do some deep breathing to feel more relaxed, but it's not really working. When you're stressed, you're anxious, it's really hard to bring yourself back down. Well, I want you to imagine that you are in jail. Okay, I know this isn't the best analogy, but it really helps you to understand this first tip that I have for you. So go ahead, just imagine for whatever reason, the reason doesn't matter, you ended up in jail. Now, you're in this jail. You could approach this experience, this chapter of your life, this time in 2 different ways. You could either, one, I want you to choose. Here are these 2 options. Choose how you would approach jail. One, you are upset. You're gonna fight it. You're banging on the bars, you're yelling at the guards, you're pushing people out of the way, you're screaming, you're fighting, you're just causing all sorts of stress for everyone, you're making everyone upset, you're hurting people, you're banging on the bars more, and you're just creating a lot of chaos, and you are fighting it every single moment you can. You're fighting it, you're not okay, you're trying hard to escape, but of course it's not working. Or you could approach jail as, okay, I'm in jail. This sucks. Nobody wants to be here. This really, really sucks, but I can't change the fact that I am here. All I can do is make the best of this time, as uncomfortable and as much as it sucks. I can just take it one day at a time. I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to accept this is my reality. I can't change it. I am here, so let's make the best of it. Now, which of these 2 people, or I guess in this case it's you in different scenarios, but which scenario do you think is going to get you out of jail faster? Probably the person who's making the best of it, they're accepting that they're there, and they're not fighting it. Not the version of you that's fighting it and resisting it and banging on the bars and yelling at the guards. That person's you is gonna get more and more time in jail. You're not on getting off early on good behavior. Not that insomnia or anything that you do is good or bad behavior, but for this jail analogy, the person who's fighting it, they're gonna keep getting more and more time because they're having bad behavior. They're resisting it, they're fighting it, and they're making things worse. Where if they just accepted it and they made the best of it, they're going to get out of jail early. Now, I promise this analogy does apply to sleep and insomnia specifically really, really well. Because when you have insomnia, you can approach it in these same 2 ways. Are you going to fight it and I'm upset and I have to make sleep happen now? This isn't okay. I'm not accepting it. I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that, it's not working, getting upset, nothing works. And then you can have this other approach like, this is something I can't change right now. Right now I have insomnia. I have to accept this and make the best of it. I'm going to remain calm. I'm not going to get frustrated and fight it because I can't change it. And fighting it and getting frustrated and trying to force sleep to happen is only going to make, if I'm thinking about myself, it's only going to make me feel more stressed, more upset. My hyperarousal levels are going to be up, and I'm going to be struggling to sleep longer. Now, I do want to talk about the root cause of chronic insomnia because it applies here. So, chronic insomnia, it all started with some disrupted sleep. This could be from sleep medications. This could be from something stressful or traumatic that happened in your life, and it caused some disrupted sleep. Now, of course, anyone in the world would have some trouble sleeping for a little bit after things like this. If something stressful or traumatic, things like that. It is completely normal. If we would just realize that in our mind, like, this is normal, I'm just going to practice extra self-care and I will be okay, sleep would slowly correct itself. Now, if we start reacting with, oh my gosh, like if you're having more than 1 or 2 nights and you're starting to stress out, like this can't happen, this isn't okay, and you start fighting it, your brain is going to think there is danger. Now, I know there's not an actual bear running at you or some kind of physical threat out there, but your brain, all it knows is you're fearing something, being awake, sleeplessness, and trying to escape it, taking the pills, getting frustrated, trying to flee the situation, just taking supplements and things like that. Your brain thinks you're trying to escape something. So you have this fear, trying to escape something, and your brain is trying to help you out. So it's activating the fight or flight system. Even though it's an error, it doesn't know there isn't danger. It just knows the fear. You're trying to escape things. So it's activating that fight or flight system. That fight or flight system is meant to keep you awake. So that if the threat is running at you or tries to fight you, you can escape, fight, flee, freeze, whatever all those different states are. And it's meant to keep you in a lighter sleep and not sleep as much so that you are ready to react in danger. And this happens every single night. You fear bedtime again. Your brain's like, there's danger. Same thing happens over and over again. You get stuck in this cycle. And the fight or flight can be amplified more and more and more. Eventually you develop sleep anxiety, all because your brain thinks there's danger when there's not danger. And that is a huge clue about how to overcome insomnia. So would you like to stop chasing sleep? Stop trying to get more hours. You're not getting enough. You're chasing it in every single way that you can. It's frustrating, it's stressful, and it's not helping at all. If you do not want to chase sleep anymore, well, I have another analogy for you. So I have another story, kind of like I did in the first tip, and it's with a salesperson. We're going to have 2 scenarios, just like I did in the first tip, and you could approach a salesperson in 2 different ways. So there could be 2 different salespeople, let's say it this way, and they could try to sell you something one way and try to sell you something on the other way. So let's say you're going into a jewelry store and you're going to buy a ring or jewelry, whatever, it doesn't matter. You could have one salesperson. Let's picture these 2 types. You can go in, you have this one salesperson who's like, the second you walk in, they're in your space, they're right there, like, how may I help you? What would you like? You point it out and they're like, great, want to go buy it? Let's go buy it now. Here, sign this contract. Or what's stopping you from buying it today? You know, all the pushy sales people techniques. I'm trying not to say salesman, sales person techniques, whatever. Or you could have another salesperson when you walk in. They greet you like, hey, hello, welcome. Let me know if you have any questions. And they stay close by, but They're not in your face, following you like every single step and trying to push things on you. When you have questions, they will politely come over and they answer your questions and they step aside. They're not pushy. They're there to be helpful. And if you want to buy something, they will gladly ring that up for you. So it's kind of the same thing with sleep. If you're trying to be pushy and desperate like the first salesman to get sleep, you're not going to be getting sleep. If you're desperate, it has to happen. Come on, sleep. We need to sleep now. We need to sleep like this minute. This needs to happen now. You're going to have less and less sleep. If instead you approach sleep like the other salesperson, you aren't trying to force it. You aren't being pushy. You're accepting that you're not sleeping right now and you're allowing things to happen when they're ready. That is what's going to bring more sleep with time. Not being pushy and desperate. Yes, it sucks not getting sleep. It's horrible when you feel anxious, you have a headache, you're upset, you're frustrated, you're exhausted, and you're feeling all that. But fighting it and chasing it is not going to bring more sleep. We have to move to this place of allowing things to happen when they do. You're teaching your brain that you're safe, and every day you're going to get closer and closer. Now, of course, applying these tips, you will start to sleep better. Tonight, you'll start to feel better because you're not fighting it. You're not resisting it. Your stress and your hyperarousal levels are going to go down. Maybe you're not going to get a great night's sleep still, but you're going to see improvements starting tonight. So that is my second tip, to stop chasing sleep. Stop trying to be focused on making it happen, feeling desperate, and not allowing things to happen when they're ready, when your brain is ready and feels safe, because it's only going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you in that jail that we talked about, sleep jail or sleepless jail, whatever you want to call it. So, would you like to actually know what to do instead then? What do you do when you're awake? How do you approach it? What are some more tips that you can apply when you're wide awake at night? Well, I got you. So, when we're awake and we can't sleep, what do we normally do? We kind of already talked about this. When we get frustrated, we try to force it, we try to make it happen, we get desperate, we get angry, we get just name an emotion, we feel it, and we're crying and we're upset. Our stress is up, our hyperarousal is up. We're taking pills, we're taking melatonin, we're taking our magnesium, we're doing meditation, we're doing hypnosis, we're trying everything to desperately make sleep happen. Well, what if instead you could enjoy your night or go to bed to relax? Both, really. So, a better approach, and what I teach, is go to bed to relax. Don't go to bed with the intention of sleeping. Go to bed to relax, whether that means awake or asleep. Just focus on relaxing. If you don't sleep, that's okay, because you're going to feel so much better the next day if you had just relaxed all night instead of getting emotional, frustrated, upset, because that creates emotional exhaustion that makes you feel exhausted the next day and feel like crap more than the not sleeping. So if you just relaxed all night, you would make a big difference in your sleep right there. Another thing you can do is what I talked about, enjoying your night, is you can put on a TV show. I know, I'm a sleep coach, and I just recommended that you get on your electronics and you watch a TV show. I know. But if you are watching a comedy and you're laughing a little, maybe smiling a little, your focus is off chasing sleep and making sleep happen, you're relaxed, this is sending a signal to your brain that you are safe. And that's exactly what we want to do. With time, your brain's going to see, oh my gosh, she's not fearing it anymore. She's not trying to escape sleep. She must be safe. And it's going to start to slowly decrease that fight or flight signal so that you can overcome insomnia and start sleeping more. So that is my third tip, which is to relax and enjoy being awake when you're awake. You're making the best of it. Like the person in the second scenario of jail, they're making the best of it. It sucks, it's uncomfortable, but that's the best you can do. And that is what's going to lead to more sleep with time. Now, if you do want more strategies to add to this list that are even more powerful and personalized to you, I created a free Insomnia Crash Course. The link is in the description below. It's absolutely free, and it's going to help you get yourself set up with some steps to follow and continue teaching your brain that you're safe and overcoming insomnia. Also, you might be wondering at this point, okay, if I'm watching TV shows and applying everything, I'm relaxing in bed, shouldn't I get out of bed? Or should I get out of bed and do this? This is really, really important. So make sure you watch this video that's on top, whatever side it pops up on, or you may enjoy this video as well. Thanks for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.